Yeah, no worries.
Right, what time is it? Afternoon. Yes, it is afternoon. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rob, and to my left or right, don't know which side it is David, who I've invited onto the call today to talk us through a strategy that he's been testing, and not just testing, but actually been trading. It's based on one of our sort of primary trading strategies, but it's a little more simpler, a little more early morning. So rather than me try and waffle through it, I'm going to pass on to David. David's going to give us a bit of his background, how he came up with the strategy. He's going to talk through the strategy. He's going to share his screen, and then we'll go through any questions that I shall have as a person. Right. So David, over to you.
Well, thanks very much, Rob. Yeah, my name's David Carn. I've been a Forex trader now for the last 5 years. Before that, well, I was a professional disc DJ. I had my own mobile disco unit in the evenings, because where I come from in Cornwall, it's a very tourist area. So 5-6 nights a week, I would go out to the pubs, clubs, and do my mobile disco thing. 40 odd years. I retired about a couple of years ago from doing that. And I had what they call a proper job as well during the day. I used to work in the China clay mines, driving forklifts, testing the clay, driving the old transit around, all the stuff that anyway. So, and then 5 years ago, I also used to do a bit of network marketing also. Got very disenfranchised with that, really. Businesses changed and went bust, and I was a bit jaded about that. Then 5 years ago, I got involved with a group of guys from the Shard in London, and they were teaching me Forex trading, but they didn't use indicators. It was all about psychology of watching candles and why traders get in and out at certain times, and why bankers invest at certain times at certain levels. Nothing to do with the indicators whatsoever. Then I joined IM Academy 4 years ago, and I've been with the Ninja team that we're all in 3 years, so quite extensively. The strategy that I wanted to tell you about is the reason why I said about the psychology of the markets and why traders do what they do, is because this is partly involved with the strategy that I wanted to tell you about, that we're having great success with. We call it the Down Under BYOB. Now, it's called BYOB, which stands for Be Your Own Bank, which involves an indicator that we have exclusively for our Ninja team. Rob, myself, and a whole load of others, we're in a bigger team called the Ninja team, and we all get together and discuss strategies and make them simpler, and that's why I'm here in the first place. But so we have an indicator called the Ninja indicator that you can get exclusively as a bonus for being in our team. And that involves this strategy. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to, in fact, share screens with you. So please bear with me. I wasn't 100% prepared, 99%. That's okay. So while I did that bit of padding, right, can you see my screen, Rob?
It's just coming up. It says that you started screen sharing, but there we go. There we go. You're on screen now.
Great stuff. Okay, so I want to introduce you to this strategy that we're doing. It's called the Down Under BYOB. It's called Down Under because it involves the Australian bank and the New Zealand bank, and how they need to, they run their times at 10 o'clock UK in the evening. That's for us, we're in the UK, 10 o'clock in the evening till 6 o'clock UK time in the morning. And then they need to set their stall out. They need to set their Australian and New Zealand dollars, respectively, at a certain price for the London market to be open at 8 o'clock in the morning. So there's a 2-hour gap there. So what we do as traders, we take advantage to that 2-hour gap, because we're basically looking at fingerprints of what they're doing in the market to be able to get to set the price at 8 o'clock London time. So they need to do that, and sometimes they might be like tens of pips away from where they need to be at 8 o'clock. So therefore they shift the price very, very quickly, And although we don't know where that price is going to be, obviously, because we'd all be millionaires if we did, we can follow them by using this indicator that I showed you called the Ninjacator. And this is what the Ninjacator looks like. We've got a BYOB up and a BYOB down. And when it goes up, we go for a buy. And when it goes down, we go for a sell. And it runs off Heikin-Ashi candles, not ordinary candles, Heikin-Ashi candles, because Heikin-Ashi candles are an indicator in their own right. They smooth out the volume of trades, and they tell us a bit more succinctly than ordinary candles what the volume is going to be. So rather than being choppy with a buy and a sell, a buy and a sell, it's all buy, because we've got a flat bottom candle, and the parabolic SAR, which is a very important part of the indicator, parabolic SAR flip from the top to below, then we get our own special Ninjacator with the BYOB up to tell us to buy. Do you think people understand that, Rob? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, well, it is quite simple and straightforward, that element, because it literally just does a lot of the hard thinking for you. So, yeah, nice and simple.
Correct. Yeah, okay. That's what we try and do here in the Ninja team, try and keep things simple. But I do sometimes, I do understand I may waffle on and some people might not understand what I'm talking about. Well, anyway, like I said before, the whole Down Under BYOB works off just four pairs. It's the GBP AUD, the Euro AUD, the Euro New Zealand, and the GBP New Zealand. And like I said, at 6 o'clock, when it comes to the end of the Sydney session, their session's done, but they need to set their price of the Australian or New Zealand dollar at a certain price within the London market, 2 hours time, and we follow along. We follow the fingerprints of how we actually do it. So,
can I just ask a quick question there?
Certainly, Rob.
So just on those four pairs, you're just choosing those four pairs because, as you mentioned earlier, already, is the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, those banks setting up their stalls for the London Open, and we're just using the pound and the euro because that's where the opening time. So just to clarify, it's just those four pairs that people need to watch at that time in the morning.
That's correct. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Because okay. So what I do, I'll take it from the beginning. So I'll remove all the indicators a minute, just on one pair, give you an idea of what we do. So I'll remove all the indicators, and what I'm faced with is put these all the candles, and what I'm faced with is a blank screen. It hasn't even got this. I'll get rid of that then. Yeah, I'll get rid of that. So this is what I'm faced with. Hang on, remove. There we go. So this is what I'm faced with. I get in there about 5:45 in the morning. I open all the four pairs up on TradingView, and this is what I'm faced with. So what I do first of all, I get a vertical line on my TradingView, and I'm on the GBP AUD at the moment. I do the same for all four pairs, but I'll just go through one pair at the moment. So this is the GBP AUD, and I put a vertical line on at 6:15, which is there. Don't forget, you won't be seeing any of this because this we're in the future now. I'd only be seeing this. So what I do, I'll blow it up a bit for you guys. So what I do then, I have to put trend lines in. So I've got a buy trend line in green and a sell trend line in red. And what I'm looking for is I'm looking for the nearest high point to the 6 o'clock candle. That's the 6 o'clock candle there. And what I'm doing is I'm going from the highest point nearest to the 6 o'clock candle, and I'm driving a buy trend line through that wick and the wick of the 6 o'clock candle. And that is my buy trend line. So effectively, anything above there is a buy later on. Also, I'm doing the same with the sell trend line. So I'm getting one of the lowest points nearest to the 6 o'clock candle, and I'm driving a a trend line through the wick of the nearest one, through the wick of the actual 6 o'clock candle, and extending it on to 8 o'clock in the morning, because that's when we trade between 6 and 8, no other times than that. So that's my ordinary candles. So now what I do then is I put my vertical line on the 6 o'clock candle, because I've already done this. This is now about 6:15, and I change these candles to Heikin-Ashi. Very important, Heikin-Ashi, because that's the indicator that I want. And then I change the whole thing to what we call the Down Under BYOB, which stands for Be Your Own Bank. We don't actually need the indicators below. All we need is this bit here. So like I said before, the Ninjacator or the BYOB bank gives us a BYOB indication, and it'll do that because it's recognizing the fact that the parabolic star is flipped from above the price to below the price, and we've got a nice flat bottom candle with ready for a buy. But as you notice, I've got my trend line. I'll actually mark up when 8 o'clock is. So I don't usually do this, but just to let you know that we only do it between these 2 hours. So basically, I've got a nice buy signal there. So, but I wouldn't be buying there because, as you can see, I've got a trend line which indicates when I should be buying. So what I would be doing is I will be waiting full price to go above that trend line. And with this strategy, we go after 10 pips, no more than 10 pips. So I'll be waiting for it to go above that trend line there, and then I'll be getting into the trade. And we actually went 12 more pips in profit on that little bit there. But I only need 10. So I've got to be 10, and I watch all 4 pairs if they're doing the same sort of thing. Are you with me so far, Rob? Any questions at all?
Yeah, so just no, thank you for going through that. So you've drawn your trend line to the green one to mark up ready for a buy, and the red one to ready to mark up for a sell.
That's
but
correct.
I assume that obviously when you're drawing those trend lines, I know you marked up the 6:15 candle first, and then you moved it to the 6 o'clock candle.
Yeah.
At what point are you drawing those trend lines? Is that at 6 o'clock so that you can
drawing those trend lines between 6 and 6:15? That's correct. Yeah.
Right. Okay. And you're on the 15-minute time frame, so you only actually use this on the 15-minute time frame. You don't go down to the 5-minute, or no, just stick with the 15.
No, we go on the 15-minute time frame. Yeah, that's correct.
Fantastic. No, thank you very much.
Right. Okay. So, would you like me to show you the results we've had so far? Because I've been testing these extensively for the last 4 or 5 weeks now, and I just wanted to show you a chart that we share with everybody else in the team. And so basically, since the 11th of May, I've been using this strategy for a long time, but I've been back testing it, and I've actually written the results down fastidiously since the 11th of May. At the time of this recording is the 10th of June. So all the green ones, as you can see, just watching those 4 pairs, GBP AUD, GBP NZD, EUR AUD, and EUR NZD. So on the 11th of May, I only had 1 trade because we don't get to trade on all 4 pairs at the same time. Price will do what it's going to do. Sometimes you'll have 1 trade, sometimes you'll have 2 or 3 trades. Another day you might have 4 trades. It very much depends when you get that signal, the Ninjacator signal. But there's hardly a day gone by when I haven't had at least 1 trade. And as you can see, all the green ones are going after 10 pips are winners. Now this red one is a loser, but I said it was a loser only because it didn't reach 10 pips. It went for 7 pips before it turned around and went for my stop loss. So, but I put that down as a loss, to be fair. So all the green ones are winners. Again, EUR-AUD, I called it a loss, but it actually went 6 pips. And this red one here, I called it a loss, but it actually went 8 pips. So what we're doing in future, going forward, on the EUR-AUD and the EUR-NZD, we are only going for 5 pips. And we have another tool within our Ninja team called the Exit Manager. Now, those watching who are members of our team will know about the Exit Manager. But basically, you can manage the exit of your trade, and I can tell EUR-NZD to go for 5 pips, take out half my trade money, and put my stop loss to my entry line with a 5 pip trading stop. And that's what we're going to do going forward. And by doing that, on the 4th of June, I was able to get 15.9 pips. And on this one, I was able to get 18.2 pips. So I just don't want to confuse, well, I probably have confused people, but I'm trying to explain myself the best way and the simplest way I can. But all the green ones are winners. And at the moment, at the time of this recording, by backtesting all that, there's been 57 trades, 54 have won, i.e. gone more than 10 pips. And that gives me a 94.7% success rate at the moment going forward.
Well, that's fantastic. I mean, having seen obviously the adjustment that you made there on the euro pairs, obviously going from, instead of going for 10 pips, going for 5 pips, then those 3 that you've classed as a loss would have actually been winners as well then. So you would have...
Yeah, I would have got a 100% success rate if that had been the case.
Yeah, yeah. But obviously that's part of the learning and development process of this. And I think, so basically, if those 4 pairs came in, gave you trade signals to enter for those in the morning, you would have had 10 pips for pound New Zealand dollar, 10 pips for pound Australian dollar, 5 pips and 5 pips for the 2 euro.
With the trading stop, don't forget, which sometimes gives you more.
Gives you more, yeah. So ideally, you're looking at, in a perfect world, if that was to happen every day, that those trades would all meet the criteria and kick in for you. That would be 30 pips as a minimum. So you're taking the 2 5s on the euro pairs. That would be 30 pips in the morning, between 6 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, and that's the only time you trade those as well, isn't it? Just
between 6 and 8. That's correct. Yeah, because it's all about the psychology. We're watching the fingerprint of the Australia and New Zealand setting their stall out for the start of the London. Yeah, that's why it's only between 6 and 8 o'clock in the morning, because we were looking at the fingerprint of where they need to push price to manipulate the price for the start of the London session, and that's essentially what we're doing.
Gotcha.
But like I said before, I mean, don't go thinking that all 4 pairs are going to activate every day. One day, some days you'll get just 1. Some days you'll get 4, maybe 2, 3, whatever, you know. So
yeah. Well, I think the thing here is that it's not a particularly challenging strategy to learn and to understand. And I know obviously where you've drawn the trend lines there, the green and the red for the buy or the sell. You know, not everyone is going to get the trend line absolutely spot on, although it is fairly straightforward just to get the touches on those wicks.
Yeah.
But I think for the majority of everyday folk who have got you know, a day job, they would be able to apply this. Okay, they might have to get up a little bit earlier than normal, but if they were to apply this, get up, mark up the chart 6 o'clock in the morning, ready for it to go, and it will just take off for them basically. And
coincidentally, we're global now, Rob. People in America are watching this, and we've got some people who are in Montana in the United States, and they do this just before they go to bed. Because for them, it's 11 o'clock in the evening and 1 o'clock in the morning. You know, so it's, you know, and we've got people in Australia, of course. I don't know what times it will be for them, but it will be a very sociable time for them during the day. So, but for the main people in the UK, if you get out a bit earlier before you go to bed, get up to go to work, ideal.
Well, this is the thing. I mean, having looked at our Discord channel where we post our results and everything, the number of people who have taken to this strategy quickly adapt. They've actually started applying it, placing their trades and winning. I think there was someone who was posted, I think it was at 7:27 in the morning or something, saying they'd got however many pips on those 4 pairs, and now I'm off to work. It's just ideal for those people who think, do you know what? How have I got time to place trades? Yes, you have, because well, as long as you don't do night shifts and stuff like that, you're going to miss this particular time slot in the UK. But yeah, it's very simple, easy. Just look at those 4 pairs. You don't have to be juggling lots of different charts, drawing those trend lines, drawing the vertical lines for that's the 6 o'clock, well, quarter past, then 6 o'clock, and the 8 o'clock, and that's you done. I think that's awesome.
And you know, as when you've been trading for a while, the main thing you're looking for is consistency in your trades, and consistency. And this is the reason why I was very enthused about this trade, this style as well, because it's the consistency we're looking for. Although we're only going after a small amount of bips, if you do it consistently with the compounding effect that we do, and we teach the members of our team, you can grow your account very, very nicely. But it's the consistency overall that we're actually looking for in doing this.
Definitely. And I was just speaking to a lady probably about an hour or so ago, because she was having a challenge with the exit manager, but she was loving this because she's up early normally. She leaves the house at just after 8 o'clock to go to work. I mean, she's not working at the moment because of the current situation that we find ourselves in. But she's going back to work next week, and she was just really, really pleased that she's got this strategy that she can do before she goes to work, to at least capture some pips, because the rest of the time she's normally out on the road, and can just place trades on her phone. But the consistency is first thing in the morning. There we go. We've got some trades to look at, some pairs to look at, potentially got some trades to take, and then the rest of the day is yours to do as you wish.
And indeed, that I just wanted to say that's why I love being in the team that we're in, the Ninja team, because although I showed you the strategy, the Ninjacator, our special indicator, was made for us by another member of our Ninja team. The strategy that I showed you was first initially shown to me in another form by somebody else in our team. I just basically mashed it together and extensively tested it, and it is what it is now by doing that. But as a team, we are all working together to make things as simple and as consistently as possible, and that's the benefit of being in a big team that we're in. And that's why I love it.
Definitely. No, thank you for that, Dave, because the whole simplified process just makes things a lot easier for people to understand, and especially if you're new to trading. You look at all these price charts and see candles and lines and stuff all over the place, where what we've tried to do is just really simplify everything to make it easily understandable, so you can get to a profitable level without having to wait months and months and months and months. You can actually start applying these strategies quickly, and start making money. Obviously, we're saying if you're new to it, you should be demo trading initially, so you're not actually risking any of your own hard-earned cash. But this is yet another simple strategy that David and others have helped bring to the team to apply to your own trading.
And of course, you haven't mentioned yet anything about the live trading, because we do up to 6 hours a day live trading. Me, Rob does Fridays at the moment.
Yeah.
Later on, you might be doing a little bit more. We got Paul, Sharon, Kevin, Les, of course. Don't forget Les. We've got loads of other different traders, 6 times a day, all spread out throughout the day. They're all recorded. So what we do is we bring these simple strategies. We all bring the same simple strategies for the other members of our team to have a look at. So they get the confidence into seeing what we do. They copy us. They get to learn the strategy a hell of a lot quicker, and they also get the confidence in placing the trades in the first place, because we say what we're doing, and they look at us and follow suit. So I just wanted to put that in.
Yeah, no, thank you, and that does also support I enjoy helping people, and I think last Friday, because as David just said, I only do the Friday morning sessions. Last Friday, I think there was a couple of trades that I called, one that we took live there and then, and another one to sort of watch out for a bit later on. And to hear people live on the session saying, yeah, we've just grabbed 10 pips on that or whatever, it's great, because I'm saying I'm getting into this now. Other people jump in saying, yeah, let's do it. And it's just a good feeling that you're helping other people to make money. So yeah, thank you for bringing that up, David.
And we all feel the same as live traders. That's why we're all one big team anyway. Because I just want to close it with this. It's a 6.2 or 3 trillion pounds a day.
6.6, I think it is.
And the markets will move, for me, exactly the same way as it would for you. So whatever you do will not have any impact on me. That's why I'm sharing it with you, because you can't influence my trade and vice versa. We don't handle people's money. Their trade is up to them. So that's why I wanted to say that as well. Yeah,
no, definitely, because that, as you mentioned earlier, you've been in network marketing previously as well, and if you're selling a product, pills, lotions, potions, whatever it is, that if you're trying to sell against another distributor or representative, whatever, you might be taking sales away from that person, or they might be taking sales away from you. Whereas with this, it doesn't matter. There's no competition. We're just out to help each other, because as David just said, he can place a trade. It's not taking anything away from me at all. I could place a trade. I'm not taking anything away from David or anyone else. And it's just it's a nice feeling. It's a nice place to be. The only thing you can do is gain positively, and that's it really, because you're gaining from the experience of another person watching the same trade. Not just me, of course, there's other people going with us. We're all looking at the same trade, and if they have questions, we answer, and they might see something that I didn't see. Yeah. And then, right, okay, yeah, that's fine. We'll put another line there, and then see what the trade's doing. So many eyes looking at the same trade, it's got to be a good thing. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, there's certainly been occasions on my sessions where we've been looking for, through the different currency pairs, and someone has piped up, have you seen Canadian dollar, Japanese yen, for example? And we go, okay, let's go and have a look at that. So, it's great, because we're all just helping each other out. And as I say, team trading helps because you've got more than one set of eyes looking at things. So fantastic. Have you got anything else to add to that, David? No, not at this time. Just wanted to tell you about the Down Under BYOB, because everybody, nearly everybody in our team are sort of really loving it because of the simplicity. All they've got to do is sometimes struggle to get out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning. But yeah, that is the only downside, isn't it? That time in the morning. But if it's an opportunity for you to make some money, then I think it's worth getting out of bed for at that time of the day. Certainly. Fantastic. Well, thank you very much, David, for your time and for explaining the strategy to us, and also for going through the charts and how you're setting up your charts ready for the London Open at 8 o'clock. And thank you for clarifying. It's just the 4 pairs. It's the 15-minute time frame, setting those trend lines, and that waiting for that. The BYOB up or the BYOB down. It's nice and simple. Couldn't get easier, or could it? Well, it could if you phone Rob and myself. We'll come around your house and place the trade for you. I guess, but we're getting beyond the realms there. So okay then, Rob. So, if there's any other questions? Yeah, no, I think you've covered everything beautifully. So thank you very much for that, David. Thanks very much for your time. And obviously, if you're seeing this for the first time, obviously, please send David a message, send myself a message, or anyone else who might be sharing this. Anybody else who's sharing this video. Yeah, exactly. That's what we're all about in the Ninja team. We all share everything as well. That's what makes it so great, Yeah, fantastic. So thanks again, and we'll see you on the next video.